If you're just tuning in for this week's Daily Devos, we're revisiting the 5 pillars that Pastor Jim talked about this past weekend that God uses to help guide us. So far we've talked about the pillars of Scripture and of prayer, and today we're going to home in on the pillar of godly counsel. Now, as Pastor Jim said, it's not a foreign concept for us to seek out counsel when we have a big decision to make or if we need help navigating something difficult. But what is often foreign is for us to intentionally seek out godly counsel. You see, the Bible reminds us that wisdom comes from God. Our world is saturated with information, but it's starving for wisdom. But wisdom is what you're after. And so it makes sense that you would want to consult people who have a mature relationship with God. People who have been walking with God and reading His Word for longer than you have. People who care about your relationship with God. The problem is that many of us don't have relationships like that, and we're not sure where to look. But let's not overcomplicate this. Okay, while the Meck Institute does offer a spiritual mentoring program, which will restart again next year, it doesn't take a formal mentoring program to match you with a mentor. It just takes looking around and making a strategic ask. So for example, let's say you're on a serve team at Meck or whatever church you attend. Is there someone on that team, maybe a fellow volunteer or a staff person, whose walk with God you admire? What would it look like for you to say, hey, would you plan for grabbing coffee with me sometime so that I could pick your brain about something I'm dealing with? Or let's say you sign up for a Meck Institute class. Is there anyone in that class, or perhaps the teacher, that you could make the same ask to? I'll tell you what, if no one is coming to mind, spend some time this week praying about it. I can nearly guarantee you that if you ask God to show you someone who might provide you godly counsel, He will be delighted to lead the way. But when He does, make sure you're prepared to initiate the conversation.